Fear serves a very basic purpose in nature. You're trudging through a deep wood in the midst of night. A rasping roar reverberates thunderously through the shrouded landscape around you. You have no concept of where or what that sound came from. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Your teeth start comically chattering like you're in a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. You think to yourself, that's clearly a demon. So you go on and skedaddle. Congratulations, you just saved yourself from mortal peril. Anxiety's purpose is more akin to, there could be an eldritch entity residing within that berry bush. I think I'll just starve. In the modern age, however, these two emotions serve purposes that are completely the same. Fear. You're shuffling through a dense crowd in a very populated area. In America, a sudden choir of shrill cries erupt from the mass ahead of you. The millisecond your neurons catch a whiff of that stimuli, you Usain Bolt and run out of there. Clearly, what was happening was a horde of teenage girls just caught sight of their favorite celebrity, thus forming a stampede which would have Mufassa'd you out of existence. Or, you might have just gotten shot. To compare that to anxiety, which is more along the lines of, that cashier is so cute, what if I embarrass myself in front of her? Someone's already in line behind me, so I can't switch to a different lane. If I get up there, I'll have to exchange pleasantries with her. Oh geez. What if she gives me her number? I'll have to ask her on a date or something. Oh god. What if we really hit it off, and things develop into a very serious relationship? I don't think I'm ready for that kind of commitment. And then she'll want to get married. The wedding's gonna cost a fortune. We might even become destitute. No, man. But then she's gonna want kids, and I'm not ready to be a father yet. What if I raise them and grow to love them more than anything on this mortal plane? Jesus, that'd be awful. Then one day we're gonna retire together. But there's so much I haven't done yet, and Sir, could you please place your items on the conveyor? Sir? Again? You may begin to realize just how useless anxiety is in 1924, or whatever year it is. I know I over-exaggerated earlier about anxiety in nature, but it's fairly obvious what purpose it actually served in evolution. Two primitive humans waltz up to a cave entrance. Hominid 1 rubs his chin and expels an embellished, He says aloud, I know better than to penetrate Satan's hole, and scurries away to return from whence he cameth. Hominid 2 exclaims, Satan's not real, and he'd be right. But bears do. So Mortal Prime lives on, actually getting laid, couldn't imagine, passing on their DNA and proliferating the human race. While that other feller, well, you could say he passes on his DNA, just in a much different way. As you might imagine, this would be an advantageous trait, because people who are more hyper-vigilant and wary of their surroundings would be the ones more likely to, you guessed it, bang. However, fast forward to 1824, or whatever year it is, anxiety has no basis here. It is not based whatsoever. The average person is seldom subject to the horrors of nature, unless you're in the midst of whatever black magic the creatures in Australia are hopped up on. To us non-boomerang slinging, didgeridoo singing, bowie knife swinging, stingray wrangling. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Keep an eye out for my 40-minute apology video. Point being, anxiety is a mere triviality to us normal people. Without ever-present peril consuming our everyday lives, our brain should just catapult it into the sun. Instead, it treats every social interaction like Vesuvius is erupting. Hey, V, right? We were kinda wondering if you'd maybe want to grab a drink with us later. You're always so quiet, and we want to get to know you better. So, what do you think? V? I'll be right back. Come on, vasectomy. Vasectomy, Theodore Hypocrite. Think. They like you. They honestly want to get to know you. As much as you tell yourself you're an unlovable homunculus, you can't be that disgusting. Right? I knew it. It must have just been a trick. A ruse, one might say. A hoax, you'd call it. A ploy, even. A maneuver, perchance. A fabrication. They're trying to manipulate you into being around them so you can amuse them and make them laugh and have a good time. I don't know what that's called, but it's despicable. Me. 4. Coming soon to a theater near you. Besides, even if their intentions are pure, what if you mess it all up? What if you embarrass yourself or drive them away? I know what I have to do. Thank God I didn't go out with those guys. And to think, if I did, things definitely would have gone south, and I'd end up alone in the dark full of sadness and despair. Anxiety's role in today's world is to prevent you from doing really anything at all. Things you love, things you hate yet still need to do. It instills you with the notion that taking action is far more terrifying and dangerous than doing nothing, when in reality, the outcome of the latter is usually the exact same as the worst-case scenario of the former. I don't want to ask that girl out because what happens if she finds out about my micro-penis? This is a very relatable experience. The problem is if you decide not to go up to her, you're gonna go home alone, curl up in a ball, and weep. However, if you go up to her and think, alright, say anything except how impressively tiny your dong is, then say, hey, nice necklace, that chain is about the width of my dick. You're gonna go home alone, curl up in a ball, and weep. One could argue, I'd rather sob than get embarrassed and sob, but this is a very short-sighted trade-off. If you see a pretty woman and think, should I inquire as to such lady's inclination on a date with I? 2 seconds later thinking nah, then the next time you see a pretty woman, you're gonna be all like nah, then the next time, and the next. And now, 6 years down the road, you're still weeping in that same ball. Well, surely, by now, there'd be a femoid that doesn't mind your tiny package. Surely. Alright, so in conclusion, this video was shit. Additional takeaway, anxiety bad. The note I really want to leave on is that fear is what drives you to run away from a direct source of danger, whereas anxiety is what drives you to run away from the idea of danger, and a danger which is almost always imaginary.